Hello. How do we help kids who are undergoing intense, severe, oftentimes pressure from their peers to be on Snapchat and other forms of social media that can really be harmful? Maybe parents don't understand that Snapchat posts can just be deleted immediately. So there's really no way to monitor what's being said. Many parents don't realize that oftentimes imposters join Snapchat and other like platforms, and they pose as young kids when they're adults looking for kids to take advantage of. Some people don't realize that kids use emojis to cover their faces. So the people that they're interacting with could be anybody. And kids are naive, their brains aren't fully developed. They have prefrontal cortexes that are developed fully at 23 in females and 25 in males. And they're vulnerable because they're not making the rational decisions they would make if they had fully developed rational parts of their brains. So we need to protect them. We need to protect them from predators and from pressure. And how do we do that? Kids have phones. Kids have phones. We need to get phones that look exactly like regular phones, like Bark and others, that don't allow online access, but do allow chatting via text with their friends so that they're not vulnerable to these people who might be preying on them or to kids who are simply not nice to other kids that will find any reason to make fun of a child. And oh, do they find reasons? I consider 13 years old like the hardest time of a girl's life, particularly because the pressure to be like the popular kids is so strong and it overrides their rational thinking so often. So they need us to say, if I allowed this, I wouldn't be doing my job as a parent. Ever since you were a tiny baby inside me, I took care of myself. Moms, you can say this. And I made sure you had the safest birth possible. Since then, I provided all the food and shelter and clothing and love that you needed to grow into a healthy child. When you were a toddler, I held your hand when you crossed the street. And I've taken you to your doctor appointments. I've provided good food. I've done everything you needed. And I can't stop now simply because you're a tween or a teenager. My role remains the same, keeping you safe. And this is said at a time out of love, completely out of love, when the child's brain is calm and they're open and receptive. As you're having this conversation and you might hear some objections, simply reflect them. You could say things like, "You really don't like having this conversation. I really understand." And as soon as you see a calmer look on their face, you say, "It's my job as a parent to keep you safe. It will always be my job as a parent to keep you safe until you're an adult and you're able to do that on your own. And please note, I don't expect you to be an adult. You're a kid. It's normal. It's normal for you to want to go along with what your peers say." So many kids have peer friends whose parents aren't paying attention to this. And how do you get the courage to pay attention to it against the wave of other kids not having any monitoring? So what you do is you sit your children down or you write them a "I see you, I love you" letter, or both, and both. And you join with your co-parent or you do this on your own and you just express your love for the child and say what a parent's job is very clearly. Then you get an agreement with the child. Can we come to some type of agreement on ways to protect you from online bullying or online predator activity? And include them in the decision making, because if you just lay down the law and tell them you can't have your phone anymore, or you must only spend 20 minutes on the phone for every day, it's not going to work, because they'll always find a loophole, because that's their nature at this age. They're individuating from you. They're exerting their own power, and it's normal. It's normal. So including them in the decision making process is gold. And I just want to offer these things so that you can start to gain control over the technology that is making parenting incredibly difficult these days, and like nothing we ever had as kids. I really acknowledge how hard it is, and none of this is your fault. It's just a matter of waking up and understanding ways to make it better. Write to me at tina@howdoiparentthischild.com, and we can connect and collaborate on your efforts to gain control over this online vulnerability that kids have.